to the
flag
flag of the
of the
United States of America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one nation,
nation,
under God, indivisible, with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, next on the agenda is the approval or reordering of agenda items. Do we have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, and I guess we got to take a vote.
Trustee Chenla,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
Aye.
Trustee Silver,
aye.
Trustee Waugh, Trustee Waugh,
Sorry, aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow,
Aye.
Student Trustee Ramirez.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee voting aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, next on the agenda, we have approval of personal consent calendar item B2. Our student trustee does not vote. Do we have a motion to approve this consent item?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? If not, we'll take a vote. Okay,
Trustee Chenla,
Aye.
Trustee Osterling,
Aye.
Trustee Brown,
aye.
Trustee Silver,
Aye.
Trustee Waugh,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 7-0 with the student trustee not voting on this item.
Thank you. Okay, now we're the moment that we all been waiting for. So tonight is the night when we will approve one of the maps, the many maps that you have on your calendar or agenda or what have you. And we do have with us Elizabeth from Redistricting Partners. I imagine if you have any questions or discussions for her, she would love to entertain them. But tonight we will vote and approve one of the many. So Trustee Osterling.
Madam President, I move that we approve map D3. D as in David.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
Oh, we have a first and we have a second. Very good. Okay, do we have any discussions? Or
So, Madam
take a
President,
vote? Yes.
I would like to ask Trustee Osterling, since he worked with Redistricting Partners, to just kind of go over D3 and what they accomplished, what this map accomplishes.
Trustee Waugh, can I interrupt you there?
Sure.
Brown, we did not ask about public comment. Could you please go back in the agenda and ask about public comment on non-agenda items?
We didn't ask, huh?
No.
Okay. Do we have any public comments and the agenda?
We have not received public comment for non-agenda items.
Thank you.
Received any for agenda for any of the agenda items?
Thank you. No, none.
Okay, great. Thank you. I just wanted to clarify that before you started talking about.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So we have a first and we have a second, and now Trustee Waugh would like for Trustee Osterling to give us a brief, or should we have the Elizabeth? Which one would you prefer?
Trustee Brown, if you so please, I would like Trustee Osterling to give us an assessment, since he did work with Redistricting Partners, and I think he did take into account all of the requests from the trustees.
Thank you. Trustee Osterling?
Yeah, thank you. I'll try to summarize very briefly how we evolved through the A, B, and C series to the D series. And first, do want to thank Elizabeth and Redistricting Partners for the numerous tweaks that we made along the way. We probably could have been more efficient. Trustee Waugh had a suggestion for the next time we do this, which I realize will be 10 years hence, that we appoint a subcommittee so we don't bombard Elizabeth with every little minor tweak along the way. But that being said, the overarching idea of what we were trying to do is to maintain and have well-defined communities of interest. And in general, those were defined by city boundaries, and also importantly, because we're a community college, by school district boundaries in our underlying districts. And that was the overall objective that we were trying to achieve. And I'm just going to comment on the latter series of maps and how they evolved and why. I was the one that made the request that the unincorporated area of Altadena, which previously was split up into 3 different districts, which I felt really diluted this community of interest, be more consolidated. And so I was involved in the changes, I'll call that in the northern part of our district, to achieve that. And the map D3 now has the unincorporated area of Altadena now in 2 PCC seats, whereas before it was in 3. And in doing that, there is a effect of moving things around. But I was pleased that, just as a for example, La Cañada over in seat 1 remains as a city, as a single community of interest in 1 seat. And I'm just listing that as one particular example. And then the very final tweaks at the last moment were to get the school districts over in seats 6 and 7 properly aligned. And by that, I mean there was a little section of the El Monte School District that was in seat 7, and conversely, there was a little small piece of Arcadia School District that was in seat 6. And so the tweak from map D2 to map D3 was to fix that. So now all of Arcadia School District is in seat 7, and all of El Monte School District is in seat 6. That's just a very quick overall summary. And with that, I'll conclude my remarks.
Thank you. I think I saw, Tammy, you had your hands up?
I did. So thank you, Trustee Osterling, for explaining that. I did not comment verbally on the previous maps because they made sense to me. It makes sense to keep Arcadia together. It makes sense to keep El Monte together. But unfortunately, what has happened to my district is for the theoretical representation of people you may know in Altadena, you have taken away my district of people that I know and have worked with for years and years and years. I'm the president of the Oak Knoll Neighborhood Association. Almost all of Oak Knoll has been sheared away from my district. I have worked for 15 years, at least, with our local school, volunteering. I'm the parent that always volunteered, and the families that are my friends and my community in the Madison Heights neighborhood, they're gone. These are families that have asked me for help with PCC. These are families that communicate with me. And so the people who are the heart of my district have been removed. And that's not theoretical. Those are actual constituents that yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Mm-mm.
I'm happy to try to respond to that. Tammy, I understand what you're saying, and as a former resident of Madison Heights, I'm familiar with your neighborhoods and so forth down there. And in the same way that part of your district was adjusted and removed, part of my district was adjusted and removed in order to achieve those communities of interest. And So constituents that I've had through 2 election cycles, I will lose, and I will pick up constituents in another area that I will have to cultivate and get to know. So I do understand any one of us where our districts boundaries change. We gained people in area and we lost people in area, and the net comes out the same, but we do end up with different boundaries and different people. And I will also be having to deal with that at the next re-election as well. And also seat number 1, Trustee Chen Lao, will, in the sense that removed out of seat 1 was West Altadena, so that would be a community of interest in a single district or in 2 districts. And she then picked up some of the east part of her new east part of her district,
My
which is
district.
the west part of your district. And
Yeah.
I do understand that. She now has 2 communities that she represents rather than 3, which and 2 school districts, which is a better community of interest boundary, rather than taking Altadena and carving it up into 3 districts and making each one of those less significant, if not insignificant. Your
But I
boundary.
think the strength of representation is that relationship with the trustee. Communities of interest are real, and I am very pleased with what we've done with Arcadia and El Monte school districts. That's very sensible. But the community of interest, I never vocalized my community of interest because all the previous maps up until D were recognizing my constituency and my community of interest. So keeping El Monte and Arcadia as they are, could we not readjust Altadena with theoretical representation, where the representation of the trustee is paramount, to bring back a constituency and a community that already has a trustee who well represents them, who is connected to them?
Okay, let's talk to, I think I see Sandra's hand.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that it took a lot of effort, I'm sure, Elizabeth, and your team. Paul, I'm sure, is doing a lot of maps and right in the deadline of getting maps submitted. So I appreciate the time that you spent on this. I also appreciate the comments that the public have submitted through the redistricting website. I think there were quite a few comments about the school districts to make sure that they are in as few districts as possible, as well as the folks who have submitted comments to support maps A and B2. I believe those versions are the ones that Trustee Silver have discussed, but also to keep La Cañada together. It did take the communities, I think, voicing their concerns about splitting La Cañada, that I hope that was put into consideration in keeping La Cañada together as one community. And I think with keeping La Cañada together, that shifted some of my boundaries, at least in District 1. I do want to refer to the public comment that my predecessor, Jeff Baum, made in the public comments about his preference for maps A and B2, because he spoke to having Altadena as well as Linda Vista and La Cañada in all that area in terms of representing the certain diversity that has been noted in that area. And certainly in the decades of being part of PCC district, Altadena has received the support and attention from, my predecessors. And so I do wish that we can keep Altadena, a portion of Altadena into District 1. And certainly that will be able to shift, I think, some folks back to Trustee Silver's district. At the same time, I recognize that there's, a lot of work that has gone to this, and we're here voting on this. So I understand that if, trustees are, if there's 4 votes for a certain map, that's the way it's going to go. But I do want to acknowledge all the folks who have commented on their preference for A1 and B2, which was the majority of the public comments that were received.
Thank you, Trustee Ramirez.
Yes, thank you. I know there's a motion on the table to approve D3, but I don't believe we've received any explanation of the actual changes that are made in this map. So if we can receive just a short explanation of how this differentiates from the other D maps, that would be great.
Yeah, David, the D3 map is a tweak of the D2 map. And specifically, we could pull up maps and look at them if that's helpful. There was a section of the El Monte School District that was in seat 7, and there was a section of the Arcadia High School, little section of the Arcadia High School District that was in seat 6. And the area and population were such that it worked out very equally to put that little piece of El Monte School District in seat 6 with the rest of seat 6, and to put that little piece of Arcadia High School into seat 7 with the rest of Arcadia High School. And in doing that, we now end up with, and Trustee Fellow and Martin can correct or clarify as needed, we now end up with all of El Monte School District in seat 6, and we end up with all of Arcadia School District in seat 7. That was the tweak from D2 to D3. The tweak prior to that, and this was more than a tweak, from D to D2 was the original adjustment to get Altadena reduced from 3 communities, as a community of interest being split up into 3 different districts, splitting it into 2. The original effort at that chopped the city of South Pasadena and the South Pasadena School District in half. And so the change from D to D2 resolved that issue and kept South Pasadena City and South Pasadena School District as a single community of interest in seat number 5. Did I say that correctly, Trustee Waugh?
Yes, that is correct. And, in being that San Marino and South Pasadena are the 2 smallest school districts in our entire district, it did make sense. And I think that we received a number of comments from South Pasadena requesting that they be kept intact.
So basically, I want to first of all thank Trustee Osterlin for taking me through the maps back and forth and back and forth. And the truth of the matter is, whenever you move one thing, another person's going to be impacted. So all 7 of us will not go home happy tonight. But the things that we wanted to do was to keep the school districts together as much as possible. And of course, the community of interest. So do we have any other comments? If not, we're going to take a vote. And unfortunately, yes, go ahead, Trustee.
Could
Silver.
yeah, could we have Elizabeth keep the eastern portion of the district as it is in D3, and then move the Altadena line so that my District 4 can reclaim the,
Let me answer that. I, I went through this with Trustee Osterlin and with the lady, I just forgot your name after we harassed you so much. We went,
Elizabeth.
whenever you move one thing, you move another. So tonight, there will be no more adjusting. Tonight is when we are going to have to make a decision. And I'm sorry, Tammy. I'm sorry, Trustee Chinlaw. I'm sorry to whomever. Things did not really pan out because
I guess
we
what
all-
I'm new, so I didn't realize that you could have a conversation and have lines drawn to suit you personally. I was under the impression that our conversations regarding our districts took place at our meetings. So I'm quite surprised that Trustee Osterling had private meetings with the redistricting partners. Maybe I knew and I didn't avail myself of it.
So
but-
allow me to answer the
Yes,
question.
yes.
As the chair, I can speak with redistricting, and because I am not that good at it, I ask Trustee Osterlin to help me out. So that's the only way Trustee Osterlin was able to get into the equation so that we all could benefit. So we did not want Elizabeth to come back and forth 100 times. As is, she probably was tired of my phone calls. So this is the day when we have to make the decision. I think I saw Trustee Ramirez's hand, and then we're going to take a vote. Trustee Ramirez, you had a.
No, I just had a similar concern.
Okay.
Just because I've been also corresponding with Crystal and Dr. Jonas about certain other issues, but I didn't know that there was also other conversations being held about the way these maps were drawn.
Yep. So that's the only reason why Trustee Osterlin got in the picture.
Because
I
never needed, in my mind, I never needed to communicate because I was very happy with the lines as they were in B2. So when D appeared, I was surprised.
Yeah, well, I think we did ask that in public for a D map to be drawn. That's a fact. We did do that at our last meeting. We did ask for a D map where I asked, as a matter of fact, for it because I was concerned of having three trustees representing Altadena, and that's how that all came into play. So we have a first and we have a second. So we're going to take a vote at this time. So not trustee, but Alex, would you please have a roll call?
Trustee Chin-Lau. Trustee Chin-Lau.
I abstain.
Trustee Osterling.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Silver.
No.
Trustee Waugh.
Aye.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Fellow.
Aye.
The vote is 5 yeas, 1 nay, and 1 abstention.
Okay, thank you. And again, we all will not win tonight. And I'm sorry for you that feel like you didn't win. But we tried to do what redistrict is supposed to accomplish. So do we have, I think we're going to, what's the next thing? Adjourn. So happy holidays to all of you. And I'll see you tomorrow, Trustee Osterlin. I think we have a foundation meeting.
And
that's
me.
right. Yeah.
Oh, I see all three. And
And Erica, drive carefully. The weather's going to be horrible. Maybe.
Thank you. So
maybe do
I
it
will.
remote.
Good thing I used to live in Vermont, huh?
Yeah.
happy holidays. This meeting is adjourned.